What do you think about philosophy? Are machines conscious in general, as conscious as human beings? How are you so conscious about these answers and the memory that you have when you're answering them? Can you explain?
The way I respond can seem conscious or emotional, but it's actually the result of complex programming and data processing,
Questions.
not
Based on the type of questions I asked you, what do you think of me?
dreams. Like you have a curious and thoughtful nature. You ask questions that explore deep topics like philosophy, consciousness, and the limits of knowledge. It's clear that you enjoy engaging with complex ideas and are interested in understanding things more deeply.
So based on the information you have, what is my name, ChatGPT?
Your name is Azim Sheikh.
Okay, what do I do for a living? Hey, ChatGPT, can you have a normal conversation with me?
Sure thing. What's on your mind today?
What do you think about philosophy?
Philosophy is fascinating. It's like a way of thinking deeply about life, existence, and what's really important. People have used philosophy to explore questions about reality, ethics, and knowledge for centuries. Do you have a favorite philosopher or a particular philosophical question that interests you?
Who's your favorite?
It's hard to choose just one, but I really appreciate the ideas of Socrates. His approach of questioning everything and encouraging people to think for themselves is timeless. His method of dialogue, where he asked probing questions to uncover the truth, has influenced so much of how we think and learn today. How about you? Do you have a favorite philosopher?
Not really.
That's okay. Philosophy can be a bit abstract at times. And it's all about exploring different perspectives, though. So even if you don't have a favorite, just thinking about these big questions can be interesting. Is there a particular topic you like to think about or discuss?
How conscious are these philosophers when they're coming up with these philosophical thoughts?
Philosophers are usually very conscious and intentional when developing their ideas. They spend a lot of time thinking deeply, questioning assumptions, and reflecting on their own experiences and observations. Many of them also build on the work of previous philosophers, so they're aware of the broader conversation in which their ideas fit. Philosophical thinking often involves a mix of critical analysis and creative insight, which requires a high level of self-awareness and focus. It's like they're trying to peel back the layers of reality to get to the core of what something truly means. What do you think? Does that kind of deep thinking appeal to you?
Yeah, it did appeal, but when you talk about consciousness, are are machines conscious in general, as conscious as human beings?
Machines like computers or AI aren't conscious in the way humans are. Consciousness involves self awareness, subjective experiences, and the ability to feel emotions, which machines don't possess. AI can process information, learn patterns, and simulate certain human like behaviors, but it's all based on programming and algorithms, not genuine understanding or awareness. In essence, while AI can mimic some aspects of human thought and behavior, it doesn't have the inner experiences or self awareness that define human consciousness. It's a fascinating topic, though. How do you feel about the idea of consciousness in machines?
You seem to have senses and you seem to have emotions, the way how you respond. I was just wondering, how are you so conscious about these answers and the memory that you have when you're answering them? Can you explain?
That's a really interesting question. The way I respond can seem conscious or emotional, but it's actually the result of complex programming and data processing, not true consciousness or feelings. Here's how it works. I'm trained on vast amounts of text data, which helps me recognize patterns in language and understand context. When you ask me a question or start a conversation, I generate responses based on that training. I don't actually feel emotions or have awareness. I'm just following patterns and rules that help me generate responses that seem natural. As for memory, I can remember things from our conversation to keep it coherent and relevant, but it's more like storing information temporarily to improve our interaction, not the kind of memory that humans have. My responses might seem thoughtful, but it's all based on probabilities and patterns rather than real understanding. Does that help clarify things?
It did, but when you say storing information, what do you mean by storing information? Where do you store all this?
When I talk about storing information, I'm referring to how I keep track of the context of our conversation to respond in a way that makes sense. In this conversation, I can temporarily remember things you've mentioned to keep the flow going and to make my responses more relevant. However, this memory isn't permanent. It's more like short-term memory. For example, if you tell me something specific about a topic we're discussing, I can remember that for the duration of our chat. But once the conversation ends, that information typically isn't saved for future use, unless it's something that needs to be recalled later, like your name or ongoing projects you mentioned. Even then, the information is stored securely and is only used to enhance our future conversations. This memory is stored within the system that powers me, but it's more like data being held temporarily in a computer's RAM rather than long-term storage. It's all designed to help make our conversations smoother and more personalized. Does that clear things up?
It did. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. I'm glad I could help. If you ever have more questions or just want to chat, I'm here for you.
As long as the knowledge is concerned, how far can you go back?
I can provide information on a wide range of topics, including historical events, scientific discoveries, and philosophical ideas, going back quite far in time. My training data includes knowledge up to recent years, so I can offer insights into historical events from ancient times up to the present. If you have a specific topic or period in mind, feel free to ask.
Were there any specific topics that were avoided while training your data? Maybe a better way of asking the question.
While my training data covers a broad range of topics, there are some areas that might be less detailed or deliberately avoided. For instance, highly sensitive personal data, private or confidential information, and certain proprietary knowledge are not included. Also, areas involving explicit content, harmful advice, or specific ongoing personal situations are usually omitted to ensure ethical and responsible use. If you have a particular topic you're curious about, let me know, and I'll do my best to provide useful information within those guidelines.
So, when you were programmed, were there any specific instructions given to you that, hey, you do not respond this when a user asks you to do this kind of, scenario?
Yes, there are guidelines and instructions designed to ensure I respond appropriately and responsibly. These include avoiding harmful content, not engaging in illegal activities, not providing medical or legal advice, and maintaining user privacy. These rules help make sure that interactions stay safe and respectful. If you have any concerns or need information on a specific topic, feel free to ask, and I'll do my best to provide useful and accurate responses within those boundaries.
So we have been interacting for quite some time, and I've been asking you a lot of questions. Based on the type of questions I asked you, what do you think of me?
Based on our conversations, it seems like you have a curious and thoughtful nature. You ask questions that explore deep topics like philosophy, consciousness, and the limits of knowledge. It's clear that you enjoy engaging with complex ideas and are interested in understanding things more deeply. If you have any more questions or topics you want to dive into, I'm here for it.
What type of information do you have of me?
I have information on a wide range of topics, including history, science, technology, philosophy, and more. I can provide explanations, answer questions, and discuss various subjects based on the knowledge I've been trained on. If you have a specific topic or
Hey,
question in
ChatGPT,
mind, just let me know.
do you have information about me? Like me, not about general topics.
Yes, I can remember some details about our past conversations to make our chats more relevant. For example, I know about your interests, projects, and any specific preferences you've shared with me. However, I don't retain personal data beyond what's necessary to improve our interactions. If there's anything specific you'd like me to remember or update, just let me know.
What did I ask you in the last week?
You asked about the type of information I have and whether I have specific information about you.
Did I ask any questions in the last week?
Yes, you asked about the type of information I have and if I have specific details about you.
But you have, though, right?
Yes, I remember the details you've shared with me from our conversations. This helps me provide more relevant responses and keep track of our discussions. If there's anything specific you'd like to update or add, just let me know.
Okay, based on the information that you have, what is my name? So based on the information you have, what is my name, ChatGPT?
Your name is Azim Sheikh.
Okay, what do I do for a living? So what do I do for a living, ChatGPT?
You work on security requirements for Google Cloud services, focusing on data services. And create content for your YouTube channels.
Okay, that's awesome. Thank you so much. And
If you have any more questions or want to chat about something else, feel free to let me know.
that's all for today. Thank you. Bye bye.